Var. This is a special episode of Ken's Questions. We're going to count it in. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special, very, very special episode of Ken's Questions / Hits, Cuts, and Bruises. You know, hey, I kind of promised y'all that Ken's Questions was coming back, and look, we here. So we have a very, very, very special guest tonight. Somebody y'all might recognize. I don't know. You might know him. Do you think they might know you?
They should.
Okay.
They should.
Okay. So if you don't, and also if this is your first time looking at a version of Ken's Questions, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Ken, also Kinetic. One part of Hits, Cuts, and Bruises. I'm the Bruises of Hits, Cuts, and Bruises. My other show that we do with my brothers, my dogs, all of us from Riviera Beach. All of us speak nothing but the truth. All of us do nothing but bring entertainment as well as education, and we pump up a lot of people. So include that part too. Now, my show is completely different from Hits, Cuts, and Bruises. And I want to make sure that y'all get a nice little spice, variety, you know, y'all, especially my internet people from Instagram. Y'all know what time it is when I had them adult nights. So I might bring a couple of those back. So stay tuned for that. Now, with my very special guest, would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing? I'm Spanko from Hits, Cuts, and Bruises. I am the Cuts of Hits, Cuts, and Bruises, and I'm here to share my story. Today is I have a story to tell, and basically like Ken said, we're always about the real and going to give you awareness whether it kills us, literally. We have to do this because at the same time, if we're not sharing a message, our stay on the internet or whatever however you getting to see us or hear us or whatever will be in vain. So that's our job. That's where we at. That's where I'm at today. Stay tuned.
So before we get started, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. It don't cost you a dime to subscribe to Ken's Questions. Don't cost you a dime to subscribe to Hits, Cuts, and Bruises. That helps us out as far as the algorithm. And in addition to that, get your merch. Tennatree.com/HCB. Like you see, we got some, we rocking kind of Florida UF tonight. We got that orange and the blue.
Unfortunately, we're really just trying to show you we got a plethora. It just happened that way.
A cornucopia.
Yeah.
Since we we filming this around Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Of course, this will be out after that, but just want to say thank you to everybody that decided to tune in. Could have been doing anything else, but you decided to chill with us.
That's right.
So, would you like to kick it off, sir?
All right. I'm here today, like I said, is to tell you guys my story. As of September 22nd, I actually suffered from a stroke. Yeah, I had a stroke, and it was caused by high blood pressure. And what I want to share my story is, it's a lot of guys, a lot of men, there's a lot of women. Our age group is really suffering from high blood pressure, whatever. And I wasn't the type of person that was prescribed blood pressure pills.
Like
I was always like, I'm on the borderline. They always gave me a chance to correct it. And I corrected, and then I went back into like a eating frenzy. You know what I mean? So that's what happened. And when they say that high blood pressure is a silent killer, believe them, definitely. Okay. But my story started with, like I said, September 22nd. The one good reason why I'm really sharing this story is because if I can save some, I'm only 47 years old. And that time when I was in the hospital, the nurses was coming in. You know how it is. If you ever spend the night in the hospital, the nurses is coming to visit you and draw blood or check whatever, round the clock. And they just really couldn't believe that I was 47 years old and I suffered a stroke. And hell, I couldn't believe it either. You know what I mean? But I did. And I'm a walking testimony because I'm here to share it. And I feel like that's one thing wrong with our community is I don't care if it's money plays or success or failures. We don't share enough. We do a lot of we braggadocious. But being braggadocious don't help that neighbor. If you're going to be braggadocious, show them how you became. I'm talking about the ups and downs. Don't brag on the shine. You know what I'm saying? Brag on when it was hard for you. So right now I'm using this right now to try to start a trend of sharing things to help one another. You know what I mean? Because we always going out trying to help people upload their businesses, give people awareness on businesses. I'm trying to upload and give people awareness on actual health because health is wealth.
You got that right. Many times, especially dealing with, we're in the social media aspect. We deal with Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. We deal with all these different websites. And the most that you see is the good.
Yeah.
People always putting forth the good. People always showing, I got a new car, I got a new house. Here go the keys, not that this episode is to bring people down, but it's to bring people reality.
That's right.
You're not supposed to be here.
Absolutely not.
This is your second brush with imminent death.
Absolutely. And this is really overall, if you go on Hits, Cuts and Bruises, I think maybe our second or maybe third show is called I Got a Story to Tell 1. And it really tells you about my trials and tribulations and stuff and my testimony that I went through the first time. Now here we are 25 years later. I'm able on a podcast to be able to tell it for real. You know what I mean? But my situation went like this. For the last, as I can remember, it's like no other thing. Like when you're getting a physical, you're going to the clinic or anything or the urgent care or anything. The first thing they do is what? Check your blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of those type of people like, oh shit, I already know what they're gonna tell me. My blood pressure is high. You know what I mean? And it got to the point that I told myself that, hell, I'm just a person that has, my numbers are high. And quite frankly, the logistics of high blood pressure is either two things. It's either hereditary or you actually have some arteries or something that's clogged or whatever, and something is working extra hard. 9 times out of 10 in our community, our ethnic communities and our Black communities, it's hereditary. And with my situation is, like I say, every time you go to the doctor, that's like, instead of like dreading to go to the doctor or whatever, do something about it. You know what I mean? Because I know one thing about men, the chatter that goes around in the locker room, and when I say the locker room, amongst men, we always spread the things to keep us from getting better. And the one thing that we spread as men, like, hey, don't take blood, don't get on high blood pressure. It's gonna impede your jump. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna be
Your dick ain't get hard.
Yeah,
you out of gas, man. Fuck that shit.
Yeah. And it's like this. I'm gonna tell you something. That was me. You know what I mean? And one thing about it is if anything what you would choose over life, what would you choose? Sometimes you think like a boy, you think like a man. You know what I mean? And a man choose life. And I think what happens is I always say, you you can keep up with your health until the doctor tells you. When the doctor tells you, 9 times out of 10, it's too late. Yeah,
That's the hardest part.
absolutely.
You know,
Mhm.
we none of this is done on purpose.
Mhm.
You know, you're not trying to harm your body on purpose. Nobody, life happens.
Mhm.
You could have been to the point where it's like, all right, well, I know you're talking about starting a new job and
Yeah.
hey man, check this place out, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna eat over here, we're gonna eat this part, we're gonna eat that part.
Yeah.
And do you think it would have helped you if these new restaurants you were going to, if they listed like the calories
Health
and
facts.
the sodium, or was it more so like food truck type a deal? And
And one thing I can tell you is what I have learned, and I think life is the best teacher. You can read until you're blue in the face. Sometimes, when they tell you a lifestyle change mean take time out to know what you're eating. Lifestyle change mean if it's quick and it's prepared fast,
and
that
it
mean
tastes good.
it ain't good for you. And one thing I can tell you is it's a lot of things when you get up in age, you gotta watch your
Like me?
sodium intake. Yeah. He's one of the oldest members of Hits, Cuts and Bruises. I think he's like over 50. You know what I mean? And it's not a joke anymore because I'm the one to actually have a over 50 plus in illness. You know what I mean? So I really kind of like, it was funny. It was funny about 6 months ago. It's not even, you know what I mean? So my story started like this, man. I started, like Ken said, I started a new job and I have a coworker that's like a foodie. You know what I'm saying? When I say a foodie, that dude, he knows about every new restaurant. I do everything. I'm surprised he's not 300 pounds. It's like, he's like, Larry, man, let's try this, man. I'm like, yeah, and I was just so free. I had made a total lifestyle change. I left. I really made a transition as far as careers. You know what I mean? I was working in one situation for 22 years, and I was so happy to like get out of it and like break the mold because at some point in your life you get tired of being micromanaged, like it's modern day slavery, and I got woke to that aspect, and I wanted change. So I really changed. I was reducing any kind of stress that I could go through. I was making lifestyle changes. So my new job consists of Monday through Thursday, lifestyle change. Great. Less work, less responsibility, lifestyle change. Great. Off on Friday, great. No micromanaging, great. So my lifestyle change has started in that fashion. So what I do on Fridays, because I'm off, I try to kind of make it a me day and do all honey-do lists and everything, or whatever I have to do or whatever before the weekend started. It was actually a real free day. Like I say, my last establishment that I was working at, I was there for 22 years. So this particular time, this was September 22nd. This was finally a day for me. I was feeling good. I woke up. I left the house probably about maybe about 10 o'clock. I had a chiropractor appointment maybe about lunchtime. I went to the chiropractor, and shortly after that, I say, you know what? I still got time because I still cut hair. I was like, I still got time. I got a little time. I say, why don't I go get a pedicure? Because my wife's like, hey, babe, your feet getting a little bit,
crusty.
It's getting a little scratchy. You know what I'm saying? So, I say, yeah. So, you know what? I say, let me go get a pedicure too. So I'm 2 for 2. Everything is going down. So I got my stuff, I got my feet done or whatever. Came home. So boom, that leave me about 45 minutes to an hour for my next barber appointment. Cause I still cut hair. I do like appointment only. You know what I mean? So if you actually keep up with our shows, I the T Reed show, it was this kid that he was in. It was crazy how, in hindsight, that things work, like God works in mysterious ways to the max.
Because we had just got through really doing that
Yeah,
show.
yeah, and we just did T Reed's show the week before, and my young boy that I gave big props and acknowledgement that how he came up through one of Terrence Reed's programs at the Urban League, and his name was Marcus Davis. And ironically, when he came to the house, he wanted to tell me personally that he saw the show and he was happy that we was able to give him recognition on his movement. He's a 22, 23-year-old kid, young kid, you know what I mean? But that was the young kid that saved my life that day. When I say that is, it was a situation I was like, I did all my me time or whatever. I went to the chiropractor. I got a pedicure or whatever. Got my dogs done, and it was time. He met me to the house and he told me how grateful he was to even be mentioned in the show, which was good. It was a bro moment. It was good. I mean, I was happy that he actually saw it. You know what I mean? It was a good thing. So man, it's crazy. I put the actual cape on his neck, and I draped him up to get ready to give him an edge or whatever, and then then it happened. My ear started ringing, and then my hand started like it was a crazy moment. It was like my hands. I started like twiddling my fingers, like my feeling in my hand was crazy. Then my voice, I could not pronounce words and I couldn't talk. It was like paralyzed. And then my legs gave out, so I went and just like, let me take a minute, because I thought that because I just turned the AC on in my barber room, so I was like, maybe I'm dehydrated. So my young boy, he called it, my nickname from him is he calls me bald head. He say bald head. He's Googling stuff. He was like, hey, we all really just accept the fact that I was dehydrated. So we giving me bottled waters, down in bottled waters, putting the cold compression on the back of my neck. He actually gave me pickle juice and stuff like that to bring me down. And at that particular time, who knows, that saved me, because I was stroking and I didn't even know it. And then he was like, I could remember like yesterday, he was like, bald head, I'm gonna try one more thing, man. Don't look like you get no better. He say, man, I'm about to call Red. And if anybody know me, my wife's name is Dirt. They call her nickname is Dirty Red. He was like, I'm gonna have to call Red, man, because it don't look like nothing is working. You know what I mean? And at that time, I wasn't even able to cut his hair. You know what I mean? I was like really like stroking out my legs. I had no feeling in my legs and everything. And I had a client come in. He came in. He saw me, and he was like, "Oh shit! Yeah, all right, I'm out of here." Just like that. And I'm so blessed that my young guy Marcus Davis was here, because at the same time, who would have known? Where would I went? The fashion that I was able to. My wife was here like in like minutes. It's in the fashion that it took for me to get from my house to Wellington Regional was like great. It was a matter of time, and my eyes was sensitive to light, and I just had my head slumped in my shoulders, and I didn't open my eyes. My eyes was sensitive to light, like I said, my ears, and I was just throwing up like projectile, like shooting, throwing up. It was crazy. So what I'm trying to tell you, that simple stuff right there had no warning. It came out of nowhere. And one thing that I learned is if you ever feel that someone is stroking out, the best thing that you could do is put their arms apart. Put their arms apart. Close their eyes and set back so they can touch their nose. If you can't, you know what I'm saying? If you can't touch your nose, you know what I'm saying? You are in bad shape. See, I just touched my nose. I haven't did that in a long time. I learned a lot of stuff. And then a lot of things too that you got to be able to cross your legs. You can't cross your legs, you're stroking. Watch for the person's delivery and speaking. It feel like they have what you call a weighted tongue. When somebody talking with a weighted tongue, that means like they're talking like their tongue is too heavy. You know what I mean? It's a lot of telltale signs. Like my guy that came in, he knew something that was wrong with me, but everybody can't take that. I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just happy that my young boy was here with me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Hey, the way it worked, the way it went, God made it the way it went. You know what I mean? Because it could have been worse than what it is. And my paralysis, and what happened was my wife got me to the hospital like in record-setting time. I'm surprised we didn't have a bunch of police and stuff behind us on the way there, but hell, I'm opening the door, throwing up at the same time. She's like, boy, you crazy. I'm like, man. And she wouldn't, I'm going to tell you one thing. I give her all the props in the world. She would not let me go to sleep. I wanted to go to sleep so bad. It was so comfortable for me to go to sleep. You know, I just wanted to go to sleep. And one thing that I learned, when you see somebody, a stroke victim or whatever, and it usually be their left hand and then maybe their left leg. And I'm going to therapy like twice a week to correct my left hand and my left leg as well. It's the balance, the equilibrium. It's part of your cerebellum that connects with your heart with high blood pressure, and it throws like the part that I damaged. See, a stroke is a brain injury, and the part of my cerebellum that I damaged, of my brain, I cannot use it ever again. So what happened is I have to retrain another part. See, my brain is playing tug of war. I want to work that part. I want to work at a part. It never worked that part before. And so I have to go through therapy to train it like, hey, like, see, I'm doing my hand motions and stuff like that. I'm feeling good about myself because I'm blessed, man. It's a lot of hard work, you know, a very lot of hard work. And I just want to be able to share this story because of the fact that everybody don't come out so blessed. You know, I won't say lucky because we're not playing crap. No. We're not at the crap table. We're not in Vegas or whatever. I was blessed. And what I'm trying to tell you is I learned so much at the hospital about the anatomy of this illness, this sickness, what happened. And God was on it so much to the fact that where I live is I'm in the middle of two major hospitals, right? And I could have turned left, I could have turned right and went to the wrong hospital, and they don't know how to treat me. God led me to the hospital for stroke victims. Mm-hmm. Man, that was another blessing, man, because what happened, the reason why that was so great in my situation is because of the fact that by my blood pressure being so high, normally a hospital, a facility, whatever, to help you, the first thing they're going to check is what? Your blood pressure. Yep. And my situation is the first thing they were going to do is bring my blood pressure down. One thing that I learned about stroke victims, if they're in for stroke with a high blood pressure situation, you cannot bring the stroke, or you cannot bring the blood pressure down right away. It actually took 3 days to bring my blood pressure. They just had to watch it, slowly bring it down, because that's how you get blood clots. That's how you get clotted arteries, everything. I think I had every test in the book, and I was blessed to go to a stroke victim hospital, and they really brought me down correctly. Now, officially on blood pressure meds, but the ironic part about that is I don't plan to be on blood pressure pills forever. My body is used to working out. And as when I said in the beginning, that's a lifestyle change. My lifestyle says that we don't have time to work out. I'll be damned. If you have a conversation with me in the future, it's gonna be like, hey man, how many miles you can run, how many push-ups you can do. Yeah, with anything, you know what I mean? It's physical fitness, that's the best thing you could do for heart health. It's working. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I can be fault of, because the last few years I haven't been doing any of that. Yep.
You probably figured that you was working out at work.
Yeah. That's why it's called a lifestyle change, because you have to do something that really pertains to how much, like at the same time at your job, how much cardio do you do? Cardio run pertains straight to your heart. You know what I mean? So that's what you need.
Keeping that heart rate up.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Introducing the official Hits, Cuts, and Bruises podcast online store, exclusively on tenettree.com. Show your love for your Hits, Cuts, and Bruises fans by rocking our stylish, high-quality merchandise. From hats, t-shirts to hoodies, we got you covered. Just head over to tenettree.com/HCB to browse our exclusive collection. Order now and get ready to be part of the Hits, Cuts, and Bruises podcast family.
All right, so basically y'all don't heard Spanky part of it, but there's another side of the story as well. Not that I had a stroke or anything like that, nothing to take away from the experience that he's telling you about, but there is another side of this story. So you have to imagine, we had an opportunity to go to Atlanta, and this was a big opportunity. This was, we were in basically, we had an opportunity to go to Revolt World, check out some concerts, check out some podcasts, get some education, rub elbows with many people that's in the industry. So shout out to Tyree for that opportunity as well. We appreciate that blessing. So what ended up happening, I submitted all the paperwork for us to go, and it was taking them a while for us to get back to us. So because we didn't have that confirmation, I was like, Spank was like, well, okay, I ain't really down with it. We ain't going. And I understood that, because hey, we still had to get flights and hotel and rent a car. And this was one of those situations where if you can't be prepared, I'm talking about, this was like probably 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
That we didn't have the confirmation and everything that we need. They did, shout out to, all the people at Revolt. They did reach out to us.
Week up.
So we do appreciate that. It was just too late for us to go. Now imagine that Friday we were supposed to be at a live taping for Drink Champs. Yeah. So it was, I don't know if the episode came out for them or not, but it was supposed to be, they were interviewing Manny Fresh and Juvenile, right, if I remember correctly.
Right.
And even if it would have been around that time, or if we go on to the venue or whatever it was, I can't imagine being out of town, having Spanky go through something like that, as traumatic as that is. I don't know what the venue's like. I don't know how many people would have been there. It was, when I tell y'all that we are guided by God, these are the examples that I'm talking about. We were supposed to be somewhere else completely different.
Yeah.
In another city, in another state.
Downtown Atlanta.
Just like, in a party type of atmosphere, we have to assume. But no.
Yeah.
God absolutely made sure that we were not in Atlanta during that time.
Yeah, because we was actually, to be honest, we was in a situation, we was put in a situation that we was going to get education more about podcasting and whatever. Mm-hmm. And moreover, on a great trip, we could have been in the process of pitching the show.
Yeah.
Could have, the show for Hits, Cuts and Bruises could have been bought that weekend. So it was something that you like in your careers, you could be so anxious and you think you're in control, and overall you're not in control. In that situation, when I was going through the stroke, man, I never felt so helpless in my life, man. I had no control. Like I was saying, I can just hear my wife like, Spank, stay up, don't go to sleep. I just wanted to go to sleep. And what I'm trying to tell you guys is I got a lot of homeboys, and you know, and I can honestly say too, I know who my homeboys are now. And I know who my family are now too. You know what I mean? Because sometimes what God does is he remove all the people that you was counting on, for you can actually count on him. And he did that for me. You know what I mean? And we're not going to sit here. And one thing about it is we want you to know that we know who God is. It's not shameful to know who God is. But at the same time is, in the process, we should also give thanks, not only when we want something, give thanks just for the little things. Right now, I mean, I thought I was appreciative before the stroke. I'm like I think I said this one other time, I think with a conversation with my wife, is God took the part of my brain that because when you also say that a person is wired differently. In all actuality, we are wired. You know what I mean? And the part that my wires I bumped my head a couple times in this lifetime and whatever. He cut those old wires and wired me up differently. And I said that to say this is, with everybody in the world, what you have to learn how to do is pick a side. That's what I've been struggling with the last maybe 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, to pick a side. We all live on both sides of the fence as far as we want to roll with God or we want to roll with that other dude and be on both sides and take the good with God and to take the one when we think God is not watching. We let that other man guide us. You know what I'm saying? And it's human. You know what I mean? It's human. But I tell you what, man, until you walked in my shoes or you walked in somebody that's less than what you think you are shoes, you would see life in a different light, man. Definitely.
You ain't lying about that, boy. Oh my
Absolutely.
God. So kind of add to the other side of this story. I'm at work and I get a phone call. I didn't get a text. You know, I'm used to, people might text me or whatever, but I get a phone call. And it's Sean. And just basically, hey, calling with some bad news. Spank had a stroke. And I'm in the back in the break room and tears just, coming down my eyes. And I'm just like, you can't help but immediately think, what does this mean for your life? What does this mean for
the recovery?
You you immediately think like that. And at that time we didn't know what what you would be on the other side, because in that moment, I don't care who you are, you gonna pray, you gonna basically put it in God's hands to guide the hands of those doctors to ensure that you got the best care, which of course is what happened. But also, after having those prayerful thoughts, and as I'm hearing about this, I'm like, the show over. Straight up. I was like, the show over. I have zero desire to do any part of this show. You're the creator, and I couldn't see doing the show without you. Straight up, I couldn't.
Hey,
I did not any way, shape, or form doing any aspect of Hits, Cuts, and Bruises without you.
Hey, you know what? Just like I said though, what God does is he put people in situations in order to get a blessing, you have to be a blessing.
Yeah.
And what I have learned through this whole ordeal is I had the incident September 22nd. And we was kind of like tight. We was tooth and nail tight, real tight lipped about it.
Yeah.
Like HIPAA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Reason being, let me tell you something. The reason being because me personally, if you get a call from me, I'm always giving you this spiel like, hey man, I ain't heard from you in a minute, man. You never know what's going to happen to any one of us. How the world, you have to pay attention to what's going on in the world.
Absolutely.
You know, if you get a call from me and if I got love for you, I'm giving you this spiel. And when this went down, I got away with like a whole month before it got out. Yeah. And that was designed that way because it's really emotionally draining to don't call me now. You know what I'm saying? Let me recover. No disrespect. Don't call me now because it's going to be two things. It's going to be people calling for information, and it's going to be actually people that really care about you. And it's mixed. It's really mixed. In our generation, just like when you see an incident in the street, instead of helping a person to health, people pull their phone out.
Right out, like they like watching TV.
It's the same thing with information. The first place they go, instead of praising the man upstairs or whatever for every accomplishment or whatever, you go to Facebook. Facebook is not the place where you go. You go to the priest and give all your information to and get blessed out. That's not Facebook. People using it for that, but you don't understand how much we get frowned upon with that. When I started in the beginning, in order to be a blessing, to get a blessing, you have to be a blessing. You know what I'm saying? If you're showering Facebook through all that instead of spreading news, because what our culture do, we are excellent at RIP or free somebody. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, let's not wait on that, man. Let's put some stuff up like, hey man, hey, everybody that since I'm on Facebook all the time, everybody I haven't called or whatever, this is for you. What's up, man? Wearing a check, anything. I have seen a couple of those before, but at the same time, we have to stop using it for
clout.
Yeah, definitely. And that's I almost let me tell you something with my paralysis or whatever. I almost passed through as far as without keeping it private. Man, we in a little small town. I heard that I had a serious stroke. You know what I mean? And that's what, when I call my guy, he's like the CEO, HR, all that of his Cuts and Bruises. He does all the dirty work, whatever. And I called him. I say, you know what? This is getting carried away between family and friends that allegedly love me or know me. Instead of being a phone call away, they're sharing too much of the wrong crap. Let's go on and make a show, and I can maybe save somebody, and maybe they can actually look at the show and get this is the horse's mouth. I'm him, the horse's mouth. You know what I mean? I had the stroke. This is how it went down. God bless me to the max. I am blessed, bro. I mean, therapy I have. Let me tell you something. Tell you how hard this is. This is so hard to the point that the doctor tell me, don't lay around, don't work out too hard, but don't do too much, but get some rest. What the hell is that?
Do everything.
Yeah. What that means is just because I made my balance is off or whatever, it's not because of my physical stature. I had a brain injury. You know what I mean? So when I'm like had a long day or whatever, or therapy kicked my butt, you know what I mean? My mental fatigue will show into my physical. And that's what I'm working on right now is my stamina. You know what I'm saying? The hardest thing was the balance. I mean, I was actually walking with a walker, and with the help of God, kicked that damn walker. I had the walker. I had my wife got me because hey now, great insurance, man. I got great insurance. I walked out of Wellington Regional with no walker, no cane, no nothing. They like, get the hell out of here. And they supposed to set me up with all that, but they didn't. So what we did was we went to Walgreens and we bought. I had the walkers. I'm talking about hand controls. It was like a Cadillac, a seat, everything. It was like a Cadillac of walkers. But I was on there for about maybe a week, 2 weeks. That was something that I didn't want to be refined to. I did not want to depend on that walker. So soon as my therapist said that, you can you can try a cane. I got a cane. You know what I mean?
Big Daddy.
Yeah, I got a cane. I'm walking with a cane. And one thing I'm gonna tell you something. If you ever have to go through this, the one thing about a cane is you would know you're doing better because you always leaving it somewhere. I spent more time looking for it than using it. You know what I mean? So, but the only time I will use a cane, remember I told you, it's a brain injury. So when you do a lot, when that brain is tired, remember I told you, it's a new part of my brain is working my left side now. You know what I mean? So I have to teach it that just because I did a lot don't mean I'm tired. So I got to retrain everything. And what was a big thing for me the other day was real touching is I was able to ride a bike yesterday, man. You know, that was great to me. Yeah, I was riding a bike like if you ever seen that movie, the 40-year-old version, when he first learned how to ride a bike, it was a big old dude riding a bike, smiling and laughing. You know, that's what I was doing, man, because I'm gonna tell you, man, when I tell you I got when God rewired me, man, I'm rewired. You know what I'm saying? I got
Yeah, training wheels.
You know what? If I got rid of my walker and the cane, hell no. I wasn't going for it because at the end of the day, the part of my brain that wasn't damaged is that fighter in me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to have a fighter. I'm not out of the woods yet. I'm not out of the woods until I can get out of the bed one day and I don't feel like my balance is off. I don't feel like because sometimes with this issue, sometimes I'll be cloudy. My brain will be cloudy and stuff like that, and still get tired. I can't go. You know what I mean? So, but it hasn't. Man, maybe in another couple of days it'll be officially 2 months. So I'm ahead of schedule. They say you started getting your wits and everything at 3 months. So God is Godspeed for me right now. Mm-hmm. God is blessing me and I'm accepting everything he got for me. And I just really want to get on here. I want to tell people like, during this situation, I have heard from people that I haven't heard from in years. And I don't know if that's the thing to do. Is I'm kind of to the point because of the fact that that's something that we should always do to one another. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because what happens is I have some people that I know that love me. And sometimes you don't know that emotion that you feel to motivate you like, oh, you go in a panic like, life got in you too much, so you could not check on people and stuff like that or whatever. life will do that. That's why you have to make a life change. In order to get a blessing, you have to be one. Understand that. Everybody, whether you gotta, I hear people say day ones and day one from the A1, all this bull. That ain't nothing, man. That ain't nothing but a catchphrase and it sound good.
Right.
You're not doing the work, you can keep that. Especially coming to me, you can keep that. And
I'm just interject right quick. People can't tell you how to feel.
nah.
You gonna have those people like, wait, man. Shit, I didn't know. I'm just, once I found out, I need to check up on you. Why you can't just be, just remember what we had.
See, I get that more than a lot, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that's hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have what if this would have been so terrible that my cognitive wasn't good enough? I could not reach out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And now don't get me wrong that I have I didn't want my paralysis to be the reason why I put my guilt of my paralysis on somebody that that's not. People do it all the time. I see it on Facebook.
Yeah.
The guilt of my paralysis is the reason why you should holler at me. No way. No way. I think we was tough enough, we was cool enough that you should have been hollering at me anyway. I holler at you. You know what I mean? But life does get in the way. It does. And I never, if I have given someone a cold shoulder, whatever. But one thing that I will not accept is if you heard something and you got my number, don't be adding shit, man. Don't be spraying that, man. You know what? It was talks. It was utters that I actually had a stroke after I had a stroke. So those who knows, if you only have one stroke a lifetime, to be honest, you are a walking miracle after one, but 2 and 3 and whatever, man, you're walking testimony for real. You know what I mean? It gets worse. It really does. It get worse. And what I want to tell people is, let's not be fixated on catchphrases about your day ones or whatever. All that. It's no good. It's no good unless you do the work. You do the work. You know what I mean? And me, I have an attitude right now. Sorry, God. I told you I got rewired. You know what I mean? I have an attitude now. I show just as much love as I'm receiving. Because we here only for a short time. We don't have all that time to be trying to create love that's not there. Really. That's as real as I can give it to you. And if I was the part of my I was rewired. The other part of me, I was like trilingual. I was speaking all different kind of languages and stuff like that. I only speak one language now. Straightforward, real. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that we must share wellness, health is wealth. We must share that better as a whole. If you're paying attention right now, this world is so to speak is not what we signed up for, but it's always been this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been this way to the point that pay attention. Pay attention, man. Pay attention. But I'm happy to be able to actually be here to speak in front of everybody today, man. I'm a walking testimony again. Hey, 2 times, man. Thank you. Absolutely.
Man, love it. It is, I think, also you're gonna have those individuals that feel that you are a contradiction because we are using those mediums like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all those places. But at the same time, we're talking against it as far as people putting their business out there.
Right.
I really want people to understand that this is our business.
Yeah.
We're doing this because we want to educate. We're doing this because we want to help. We're doing this because we have a platform.
That's right.
And don't get it twisted. You know, it's not one of those things where we got Twitter fingers and, you know, we just look at me, pay attention to me, feel sorry for me. You know, this is educational. This is, you have to understand that I came from the standpoint that we were never going to do this again. So I had to wait for Spank to come to me. I didn't call up Spank like, hey, we got shows to make, you know? And this is part of his therapy. So just know that. Just know that if you're taking your time to tune in, if you know that I'm talking about, if you share this with anybody, this is part of that therapy. And this is what helps. It's not a circumstance where we've had all kinds of shows. We've had all kinds of ideas. We do silly shit sometimes. But when this serious of a topic and this serious of, you only get one life.
That's right.
You only get one.
And one thing I can actually tell you guys how God works once again, this is so crazy. We actually filmed a men's health show. And some kind of way that it got tied up in technology and something like that, our IT guy, lines got crossed, and it didn't get aired. The man upstairs wanted this one to get aired.
Exactly.
And we actually did a men's health twice.
We did 2
a men's health
episodes
twice.
of men's health. But you know, like I was saying, I wanted a doctor on that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not in the medical field, we're not doctors. We're only sharing what your experience was.
Experience is the best teacher, I tell you.
That's because
all we're doing. My experience that I learned as far as like they had to actually take 3 days to bring my blood pressure down and stuff like that, so I wouldn't have blood clots and stuff like that, or any arteries wouldn't. If any arteries were damaged, they wouldn't get further damaging, bringing my blood pressure down too fast. You know what I mean? That's experience. And doctors are practicing. And I tell you, when they practice on me, I'm paying attention. You know what I mean? To getting an MRI is freaking like Friday the 13th. Man, it's crazy, man, you know? So I'm just trying to tell you, I want to think like really what's really my kids, Laurie and Devin, and my wife, my mother, my bonus mother and father-in-law, and my wife, immediate. And my Hits, Cuts and Bruises family, man. Everybody, and I have a dear cousin or whatever, and a husband and stuff, that people like in the nursing field and stuff like that. I mean, let me tell you something, man. Don't think that this is not a situation that I feel like, I mean, we're probably gonna be able to rap about this a little bit more. Who knows? But I just want to give homage when homage is due. You know what I mean? And I don't think that I would be, because God works in mysterious ways to the point that he used me. You know how sometimes you say, why me? I actually say, why not me? You know what I mean? Because one thing about it is some people may not take it like I take it. How I gave that analogy about God rewired me. Like, I don't I don't see no other analogy better than that one in my eyes, and that's just from the experience. And I have a lot of people that know me and a lot of people that's rooting for me, and I actually, like, spiritually I feel that, and then at the same time, there's a lot of things we don't talk about that you think that when you have people rooting for you, it's actually people is rooting against you as well. But that shit, I will not give that no notoriety at all because of the fact that I don't move in that way. Remember, I'm rewired. I don't support that. It's all good. You take your little genie baby and do it to yourself. Look in the mirror and do it before it can jump back on you. It's all good. But like Kinetic said, that the desire to keep doing our show was kind of like on in limbo, and I still have work to do. We still have work to do as far as the show. Hey, that might have been the thing that kept me here. Who knows? In order to be a blessing, you got to, be a blessing. Same thing. But I would, like, at the end of the day, I want to thank my wife, my kids. Definitely, man. It was, oh man, it really helped bring everybody closer. You know what I mean? And that's when you ask why me, that's why not me. You know what I mean? It helped me be a better person. It helps it helped loved ones that really say they love each other. You got to prove it now.
You got that right.
You got to prove it now. So my lifestyle has kind of like really completely changed. I ain't finna get stressed on nothing. Straight up. I wasn't, to be honest, I was removing stress situations out of my life in the process, but the man upstairs just speeded it up for me. So I did what I can, because a lot of things we think we're doing it. We're not doing nothing. We're just a vessel. We're just here. You know what I mean? Walking in this path. And I just want to say, if you got anything out of this show, just remember to continue to be true to what your mouth say. The power of your tongue is everything. You got people talking about day ones, like I said earlier. Actually show improve. You know what I'm saying? Every show we have in the past recent months, we always mention this guy named Chad Scott, man. Man, let me tell you something. It doesn't cost to show support with anybody. It doesn't. If you get paid for every time you do it, some of us be super poor, some of us be super rich. And being originality and just being organic, Chad Scott is it, man. My guy, as soon as he caught wind, he was one of the guys that I didn't actually call because he was going through some stuff like the same weekend himself, health-wise.
Yeah.
And he never stopped calling, you know what I mean? He never, no matter what, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you have, in order to get where you're going, you had to be somewhere first. And that's, trust me, don't fall into that and let the man upstairs show you. Cause he'll humble you. He will humble you.
Real fast.
He'll bring you down. And I just want to say, man, hey, be better to one another and be what your title is, and actually, cause things has changed, man. Things ain't what they need. People actually need people in the flesh. You know what I mean? And sometimes what you were back in the day, that it's a what have you done for me lately world right now. You go to your job and your numbers are not the same or whatever, your productivity is not the same. Guess what? They're going to bring somebody in with a whole other mindset to get those numbers up.
That's right.
That's the same thing with life, man. Got to show and prove. That's with everybody. Love one another, man, and show and prove.
Whew. This is a tough show. So with that, I want to invite y'all to, if you got any questions, we, a lot of the shows that we put out, we don't, it's not to the point where it's inviting questions. But if you got any questions, y'all feel free. You can ask Spank, you can ask me. Also go to the doctor, straight up. It's to the point where now I quote unquote I work a lot. Everybody know me. I work 7 days a week. But my doctor's appointments are virtual, so I still go to the doctor. If they need to order my blood work, I still go get my blood work done at Quest. All that stuff is still the same, but I go to the doctor virtually. Therapist is virtual. These are things that technology has allowed us to benefit. So it's no excuse. It truly is. There's no excuse. I know it's scary. I know we tend to overthink and overanalyze when we do get bad news. But that bad news is better than not knowing it all. So please, please, please make sure you take care of yourself. If you can't get to the gym, change that meal.
That's right. It's the food. It's definitely the food, y'all. Don't be a
more
fool.
than anything else.
It's the food.
Yes.
It's the food.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Yes, sir.
So just make, and these are things that we, like I said, we both working on it. This ain't something that we ain't around here perfect specimens, but as long as it's front of mind and the effort is there, hey, you can't do nothing but be successful at it. So with that, I want to invite y'all to check out our old episodes. Check out the Hits, Cuts and Bruises. Check out the Ken's Questions. Ken and Ken 13 on Instagram. I have old episodes of Ken's Questions on there. All types of topics. And I leave those shows up for a reason because they're fun. Some of them took place during pandemic. Some of them took place afterwards. So definitely check out those shows. We will be doing more intertwining as far as look forward to some collaborations as well, especially on my side of my show, because I like to get different aspects and different thoughts from different groups of people, not just, I know Hits, Cuts and Bruises, we have a male focused show. It will continue to be that way. Anybody who's interested in coming in with a different point of view, hit me up for the Ken's Questions, because that space is what we have to help out with those. I get a lot of women. We are gonna have the women on the show. Like, this is a space for men. Just being honest, that's our niche. It won't change. But Ken's Questions is open. So if y'all want to come on in, you got something to talk about, you got a topic that you want to bring to us, then hey, hit me up. You can always DM me. You can hit my email as well, hitscutsandbruises@gmail.com. So that's always an option as well. So in closing, do you want to finish it out?
In closing, I just want to say, be inspired. You know what I mean, by the show, because of the point that your health is all you have, and you never want your dreams and your motivation and your motion to be cut short because of your health. You haven't been paying attention to yourself, and listen to your body. That's one thing that I'm prominent on right now, is listening to my body. Know your body. It's been your body your whole life. So when something, like if you driving that car and that engine light comes on, what you gonna do?
It. You're
gonna know it until it put you down somewhere, and it gave you warning.
Yep.
It's an advanced warning, and our body works the same way. And I just want to say, stop having a title without using your title. If you're someone special in someone's life, be active. You know what I mean? Because that means a lot. I actually, I was sitting here thinking when Ken was telling you about his show, visit his show. He got some real hot topics, some intimate topics that we probably hits, cuts, and bruises. We're gonna start throwing him no look passes because of the fact that it's stuff that when you in this podcast business is you actually have lanes. You have to work on being good in your lane.
That's right.
And hits, cuts, and bruises, as y'all can see, we're going into our second season. And from the views, we got over 10,000 views, maybe 20, all down to 20 now.
Yeah.
And hits, cuts, and bruises actually has been good in its lane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So one thing I can say is this is actually adding a special entity to our lane.
Mm-hmm.
And it's men's health, and not only just men's health, people. This is an untouch about people's life and awareness. This ain't just men, because women have high blood pressure as well.
Mm-hmm.
And women can serve, and the one thing about it is if you're going through something, share it with your neighbor, share it. Information is free.
Very,
very free. And like I can't state it enough that I appreciate all the people that was hands-on with me. You know what I mean? That you have some people that won't go away. They're gonna knock the door down. Like,
mm-hmm.
Damn, holler at me if you need it. I'm at your door. Ain't nothing I could do about that. Now that's wearing your position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
I know I heard George Long go off.
Oh man, I got a homeboy, Snoop. Y'all probably seen him on the on the podcast a couple of times. He's one of our biggest supporters. He's visit the show a lot. He knows when it's time for me to take my meds twice a day. His alarm goes off on his phone. He has it set. And mine go off on my phone. My wife's own go off on hers. And everybody's calling me at the same time. Hey, man, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about wear your position. Be active.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I worked at an organization for 22 years. And I worked with hundreds of people. I can't say I heard from 2% of them guys, which is cool because one thing about it is, in order to get a blessing, you have to be one. Learn that. We all got to learn that. And the ones that I did hear from, you didn't just knock on my door or talk in my ring camera. You knock the door down and you know who you are. You knock the door down. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody. Hey, like I say, I'm not out the woods yet. I'm taking my blessings every day. I'm getting so much better. My left hand is moving. You're going to see me merely walking and dancing and everything. I'm going to be back soon. What I'm trying to say is I appreciate every little stepping stone that I get, man, because I was at a point, boy, one thing about it, I have faith in God and my support system is great. And I never lost faith. I tell you, I didn't. Mm-hmm. Because of the fact that it's the little things that God kept me for a reason. And this Hits, Cuts, and Bruises show that we kind of bring y'all on. Go on YouTube. You can see the old ones. You can see the new ones, what have you. You have to spread that word correctly, man. The power of the tongue. Watch what you say to people. Watch what you say to people, mm-hmm. and watch what you spray, and watch what you say. If you don't have the correct information, don't repeat it.
Please don't.
Please, I'm telling you.
Please don't.
So I want to conclude the show is, hey, man, love one another, man, and be active on your title with your friends or your family. Be active for real with it. One.
Thank you. Finally, just shout out to, of course, DJ Timo. Yeah. Shout out to Timo. Varsky. to jealous. Make sure y'all go and follow his channel as well.
Yep.
And get his merch as well.
Mhm.
Shout out to tenantry.com, Randy PIP. We appreciate you, baby. In addition to that, you know, just like I said, all of our fans, everybody that basically says, hey, when the next show? You know, those individuals,
counts.
y'all
Yeah.
drive. That's my drive. I
Yeah.
promise you that's my drive. Because it's work.
Yeah.
It's work. And but it's a labor of love. And we will continue to do that. And once again with that, we appreciate you. Love you. Peace.
Hits, cuts, bruises. Bars.